Welcome back to the Road to National series. In today's episode, I'm going to take you through an upper max workout. Now, this workout started off as an absolute disaster. So here you see me doing 15-degree incline off the chest rack lockouts as my max effort. I managed to hit 120 kilos here, which felt really easy. However, when I went for 130 kilos here, I broke it off my chest, but could not lock it out. And the reason for that was that actually wasn't my first max effort for the day. I'd planned on doing a mid rack lockout flat. And because I used to bench with a much wider grip, rack lockouts become way easier when you bench with a wider grip. So I failed to break my record on that twice. Then I tried to do the off the chest rack lockout from a flat bench and failed that twice. So that was actually my third max effort variation. I didn't show all the failures before because I didn't want to bore you guys showing you a load of failed attempts. Literally the bar just doesn't move when you fail a rack lockout. But it was basically a disastrous max effort session, and that's why I failed that 130 kg. I'm very confident when I come back I could at least hit that, but rack lockouts in general might not be the best variation for max efforts because they force you to start in a really different position. They force you to flare your elbows, and the bar needs to be like over your upper chest instead of lower chest. So it sort of is a different technique to normal, which is annoying because then it doesn't transfer back to the regular bench. I think for reps I'd probably be fine, so I might start incorporating them as an accessory. So moving on to the accessories, you've been watching my first accessory here, which is inclined Swiss bar skull crushers. Now they provided a crazy stretch on the tricep and actually hit the lats a bit more than I was hoping because it's almost like doing like a pullover. So those lats are in a really stretched position. Just to stabilize the weight was fatiguing the lats as well, but managed to hit my triceps pretty hard. I wanted to attack it after such terrible max effort failures, and at the time of recording this, it's the day after when I'm recording this voiceover, and my triceps are absolutely wrecked. I think probably partially from the max efforts because my chest is as well, but I absolutely blitzed all of my accessories today. So those tricep extensions clearly went well if we're judging the effectiveness based on how sore I am today. So the next accessory here was mag grip lat pull downs. Now I went 220 pounds, which is the heaviest I've ever been able to go on lat pull downs. Managed to get a set of 8 on the first set, and then here I do a drop set. So if you look at the weight stack, the pin drops out there, and I go from 220 pounds. I think I managed to get 6 rep on that second set, and then I drop the weight down to 150 pounds, and here you can see I can crank out loads of extra reps. Drop sets are a great way of adding intensity and helping you push through failure because I basically failed after 6 reps on the second set, but look at all the extra effort I was able to put in then, moving the weight fast because that's actually less painful, but managed to push the lat very hard there. And then I decided to use the same weights going into the next accessory, which is the chest press here. So I did 220-pound chest presses. I could do these for way more reps though, basically double the reps of the lat pull downs because my pressing is much stronger. And I also did the same drop set on the second set. So the set after this, if you watch the weight stack again, you'll see those drop set pins drop out. So I highly recommend you get a set of drop set pins. By the way, if you are somewhat of a veteran lifter and are wanting to push hard, drop sets are a fantastic way of pushing you beyond failure, like I just showed in the previous set of lat pull downs and like you'll see here on the next set of chest press. But the best way to do drop sets, if the machine is a weight stacked machine, they don't work if it's like a plate loaded machine, but are to get some drop set pins. They're pretty cheap. They were like 20 quid. I think I got mine, just there's so many different brands out there that sell them. I think originally they came from a brand called the Gym Pin, but they're great. They're really simple to set up, and as you can see, the pin literally just fires out when you can't get any more reps like this now. and then you can crank out some extra reps. So it's a really fast, efficient way, and it doesn't take the tension off the muscles. So I suggest you guys go and check that out. They're very good for how cheap they are, and they're great for adding intensity. If you're a newbie to the gym, you don't need to do that. Just stick to the basics, and you shouldn't be cranking all the way like past regular failure as well with drop sets. So just focus on the basics. But if you are more of a veteran lifter, maybe you've been training for a few years and you want to up the intensity of your workouts, I suggest getting some drop set pins. So the next accessory here was bicep curls or preacher curls, using the bench as a preacher pad. Now, I only managed to get sets of 4 here. Literally every single rep felt like a max effort. I genuinely didn't think I'd be able to do a second rep, but I managed to get 4 reps on each side on this first set, which I was very happy with. The last time I did these, I only used the 20 kilo dumbbells because I wasn't able to get a single rep of these. So since I've started retraining my biceps, I've only really done that since starting this series, so the beginning of the year in January. My arms are like an inch bigger. They were measuring about 17 inches cold. Now they're like 18 inches cold. Doing this new training and committing to training, my triceps have also got bigger, but my muscle size is exploding. Like my chest is 2 inches bigger. Like I'm maybe a little less lean, but I'm a similar weight on the scale. I do think this high intensity training is driving that and doing different rep ranges. So that first set was really heavy, but I realized I wasn't even going to be able to get like sets of 4 on the second sets if I tried again with my biceps. So I did drop to the 20 kilo dumbbell here for the second set, but it felt so easy and I was able to get way more reps than I was just a few weeks ago. So yeah, the biceps are a genetic strong point for me, but also having not trained them for years, there's some muscle memory, there's some genetics involved, and there's some factor of the fact that I'm just committing to training very hard at the moment and trying to put it all out for you guys to see. The bicep strength is coming back like crazy as well. So maybe I'll explore doing some strict curls and trying to get strong in that as well. Let me know in the comments if that's something that interests you. And in general as well, this series is designed to show you all of my ups and downs. Like I've told you about what a disaster the max efforts have been. The hope is that I can keep pushing, like the series name is, Road to Nationals, and get to a significant level in the sport of powerlifting, something of note, and that you can see how I got there. The idea is that you'll be able to flip back to episodes like this and see that training wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. It didn't go to plan the entire time, and to actually see what it takes to progress. So I'm definitely hoping I do progress. Hopefully I'm not going to just like hit a wall or a genetic limit, but I've seen that my strength increase has actually started to increase recently since committing to this, rather than decrease. So normally the more years of training you've had, you start to slow down, you start to plateau in your progress. But if anything, my progress has massively increased in pace recently, and I'm hoping that this year I'll be able to qualify for nationals. Maybe my goal is at least hit a 700 kilo total in competition this year. So the next accessory here, as you can see, were side laterals. I did 20 kilos, which is a moderate weight for me. On this first week back after the deload week, this is the first week of my 3-week cycles, where my 3-week cycles are based on my dynamic effort, but I basically also do max efforts for the 3-week, and then the 4th week I deload. But on this first week, so the first week after a deload week like last week, I try and do high reps in general. I guess the only accessory that didn't apply to that rule was the first set of those bicep curls. But honestly, I think people get caught up too much in over programming things. I think when it comes to accessories, programming the general accessory. So here I had some sort of delt exercise programmed. I decided to do side laterals. I chose this weight because I knew I could get a fair amount of reps, but it was also something I was passionate about on the day. You need to be excited for your training, and that's what's going to allow you to push hard, and then that's what's going to allow you to make progress. So yeah, don't overly get obsessed. You know, if you've got a coach, do what your coach programs. There's nothing worse than having clients that just ignore everything that you program. But If you're doing your own programming, I think just freestyle it when it comes to the exact reps. Pick a weight and see if you can beat the number of reps you've done with that weight before. That's my favorite way to progressively overload accessories, and then just use different like rep ranges each week, and then you only every 5th, 6th week come back to the same rep range and then have to beat it. It's sort of a similar approach to the max effort approach, where I cycle in max efforts, try to beat it, then go away, do loads of different max efforts for like 6 months, a year, and then come back and try to beat the first max effort. That's how you keep progressing. I also use that approach with accessories, except instead of maxing out, the idea is that you're just trying to PR on different rep ranges. So the final accessory here, my least favorite thing to train abs. However, I actually did enjoy these sets. Now, these are the only things which I didn't push as hard, and that is because I'm not conditioned to training abs. I've only really started training them consistently recently, and every time I push to failure, I get horrific abdoms for like over a week. My body's just not capable of pushing to failure on abs regularly, except this second set was pretty hard, but the first set I did hold back quite a lot. So that is it for today's video. I hope you did in fact enjoy the video. If you did, drop it a like, drop it a comment, subscribe, click the bell, all of that good stuff, and have a great day.